Hey, welcome back to Fake Deep Thinking, where a group of friends sit down talking about some news, culture, and even, yes, politics. We have John, Doc,
Yo, what's up?
Ian in the frigative back,
I'm throwing up the peace sign.
throwing up the peace sign, and myself, Eugene. All right, so it's been a while since we talked about something controversial, so we're going to jump right into the controversy because you know what month it is. It is Pride Month. Go ahead and pull up the Breitbart article, Ian. So I specifically want to limit what we talk about with this because I feel like we're just going to hash out conversations we've had before about a lot of this stuff. So what I want to address when it comes to Pride Month, and you're all welcome to bring up anything else y'all want in regards to Pride Month if you want, just to get the conversation started, is some of the comments that the Biden administration, specifically Biden, also has been saying, which is basically around the context of the children are our children. They're not your children, they're our children. And let's watch the videos because maybe I'm misrepresenting that. So let's watch these videos, get our reaction, let's talk about it. So the first video, Ian, is obviously that one. So let's play it.
These are our kids. These are our neighbors. Not somebody else's kids. They're all our. And our children are the kite strings that hold our national ambitions aloft. It matters a great deal how we treat everyone in this country. LGBTQ Americans, especially children, you're loved, you're heard, and this administration has your back.
All right, go to the next video, Ian, right below it.
Yeah, you got your back all right.
Rebecca put a teacher's creed into words when she said, "There's no such thing as someone else's child. No such thing as someone else's child. Our nation's children are all our children."
Okay, and then another one down below.
About our children. And you've heard me say it many times about our children, but it's true. They're all our children. And the reason you're the teachers of the year is because you recognize that.
I'm sure Biden wants them
They're
to
not
be
somebody
all
else's children. They're like yours when they're in the classroom.
And then one more, Ian. And go to the minute 10 marker, the
You
minute
know,
10 marker. I'm about to give it a second to buff. I guess our internet's trash. Is it not showing up for you, the minute 10? It's about halfway.
it's like spinning for me.
run, spinners, run.
Yeah, either click it and it might take you to Twitter. So click it and it might take you to Twitter and might get a better. Yeah, I think that might be better. Yeah, right there. That's fine. And then, yep, full screen and turn on the
Shout
volume.
out Elon. Mm-hmm.
Unfortunate, but at least we got subtitles. There are our children of our country, of our communities. I mean, our future is really bright if we prioritize them, and therefore prioritize the climate crisis, which is a weird tie-in, and
Yeah,
the need
that's
to
really
address it.
a reach.
What if we think about our children, prioritize the need to bring our country together? I travel around the world, and that's basically it. She just, yeah.
tie-in was funny. It's like, yo, Afghanistan and aliens. Like, what?
Yeah. So there's some other things that happened Pride Month, but I don't really want to talk about it because it's just basically, in my opinion, from my Christian mentality, just a bunch of degenerate stuff. I just really want to address this John's reaction. It is what it is, man. It's my opinion. It's what I think it is. But specifically when it comes to the children stuff, I just think it's weird, and I want to circle back or bring light to the last conversation we had about Pride Month. I think 2 years ago, when you had that one. What they call themselves? I don't want to be demeaning saying this because I think that's literally what they call themselves, but I could be wrong. But like the gay choir, where they were singing about "We're coming after your children." Remember that song?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so I guess my first question to get the conversation rolling is this a is this an overreaction of people when they see this verbiage from the Biden administration and Biden himself? Are they trying to say like we gotta all take care of the kids, we gotta look out for the kids, blah blah blah, or is it something that seems, at least from my perspective, a little more nefarious?
I feel like it's like vote catching. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're
No, I
trying
don't know
to
what you mean. What do you mean vote catching?
they're trying to get the LGBT like Q vote, and so they're trying to create advertisement that shows inclusivity for them, so that they can get votes from them. Because I mean, if you're being honest, like, or if I'm being honest, I've never seen Republicans do any kind of approach towards them. It's like it is a small margin of voters, but there's never been any kind of outreach to that community, and largely because I would think that most of the Republican Party and conservatives in general are founded in their religious beliefs, and so you kind of that throws up a wall on reaching out to those people. And
I
so
wouldn't say religious beliefs, even though you may be right, but I'll just more so call it traditionalism. And I don't think, the alphabet community is anywhere near traditionalism.
I would agree with that. Yeah, even just like if you're completely traditional and just like heterosexuality and stuff like that, like there's no outreach, and so this administration and even like really Democrats in general are not afraid to do that because they don't have a lot of people that are bound by their traditionalist values, and so they're able to reach out to them, and I think that's what this is. And I can definitely see the like, oh, we're coming for your children, we're coming to get them, but at the same time, it's also just like there are children, as in like they're inclusive, and so any gay child that feels like they're an outcast from their society, now feels like they're a part of their society.
But now, in lieu of doing that, they're kind of affecting the children that aren't their children. Like, I get the whole outcast thing, because you feel like an outcast, don't worry, you're still part of us as a community that is an American.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like they're stepping on toes of parents. Like, if this is genuinely, like you say, a vote grab, which it might be, I generally don't know about, I'll entertain that. I think it's stupid because now you're alienating a large percentage of the population that are parents. And some of those parents might be progressive and Democrats, so they might agree with it, but even I would assume, and maybe I inaccurately assume, that even they would be uncomfortable with it because just the government stepping in with this type of verbiage, I just think is weird.
I mean, it's definitely like creepy in the sense that like it sounds communistic and that like you're us, you're a part of us, and it makes it feel
One
like
of
a
us,
collective.
one of
Yeah,
us.
that's the vibe I got.
Me
But
too.
I don't feel like that's the intention. I genuinely feel like the intention is to try to reach out to those outcasts, albeit it definitely does give off the like. I think it's the frequency of which he kind of repeats himself that makes it the like one of us type vibe.
Let John. I disagree with you more, but I want to get John in here first.
I don't think he was direct. So I don't think it was directed at. I think it was directed at, like Doc said, gay kids or LGBT. Let me not say gay. LGBT. I'm not gonna say all that shit. Alphabet kids. So I don't think it was directed at the. Okay, well, hold on. Backtrack. I don't agree with it's our kids. First off, I don't agree with that sentiment. But besides that point, I don't think when he was saying it's our kids, the goal was to say the straight kids are our kids to make gay as well. That wasn't the intended thing.
Obviously, I don't think that was attention either. I think that's, if someone's saying that or making that assumption, I think you're being a little bit dramatic.
But I mean, not okay. So I'll even water it down a little bit, not to make somebody gay, but he's not saying that. Oh, we should.
We
The
should
point
teach
of him,
inclusivity and tolerance and acceptance.
yeah, the
kind of
point
thing.
wasn't to dictate anything for anybody who didn't feel oppressed. The point was to try and include the people who did feel oppressed. And it being Pride Month, the focus is on those kids, that not the transferring of it or the education of it or anything like that, but those kids who do feel like they're either getting bullied or whatever because of their alphabetism, that that they're his children to protect as well, not necessarily point towards the other thing. It does sound nefarious, I believe. It does sound bad, but I think it only sounds bad because I don't want to speak for everybody, but there have been questionable moments with Joe Biden as far as his
His
interaction with
predilections.
his interactions with children. So when you know that, then you hear this, you're more open to receiving it in a more harsh way. Whereas he simply just wasn't talking to us.
my my point I wanted to make in opposition to what Doc was saying, I guess you too, John, is the reason why I think it's weird that they talk about our kids, not Kamala, because Kamala tried to reference it to the climate crisis, which is also weird. It sounds like you're trying to indoctrinate kids to your type of ideology.
It sounds like she forgot her speech and skipped from paragraph 2 to 3. I mean
I agree
4.
with that. Yeah, it just sounds like John.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I just don't understand. Like I mentioned, that was a weird leap. That's a weird association. My issue though, I said this before, and it's controversial to say, but I don't understand why we're associating kids with the alphabet community when they can't even have kids.
See, that's where you're thinking about the adults being the alphabet. They're talking about alphabet kids.
I don't know if they are though. Like they're not, because what they're saying is they're our kids to everybody. To well, he's speaking, because as a president, when he speaks, he's speaking, pseudo facto to the whole country. And that verbiage, our kids, usually is a
Protect.
testament to adults, to
I
people
think
who look over kids. So he's not talking to kids saying you're welcome. I understand the notion y'all are making. I don't
so the
agree with it.
difference.
I think he's talking directly to parents and to
No.
other parents around the world. Like they are our kids. It's our responsibility to look after them, protect them, and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yes. Now I agree with you, but it all depends on what you fill in the rest of his sentence with. When he says it's all our kids, to do what? So the do what would be the issue here. I
Exactly.
already don't agree with all our kids. I get that, but somebody can say that and me not be perturbed, because it's like you're just spouting nonsense, honestly speaking. Like it's all our kids doesn't come with any, there's no law, or there's no the encroachment when you say that. You're just speaking stupidly.
It's a slippery. The reason why I think I have issue with it, because it's slippery slope. It's them trying to, in I don't know if they're going to eventually do it a legal way, but if not a legal way, a very um like public way, like public opinion kind of way. Like sometimes when you want to get something done, you don't utilize the courts, utilize public opinion, and even though you lose in the courts, public opinion's already been decided, so you lost no matter what. I think
To
this is
do
one of
what?
those. It doesn't matter. Just that's a strategy I'm trying to say. I'm trying to differentiate the strategies. I'll
Yeah,
elaborate what I mean by the strategy.
but strategies have end goals. So what was
I
the
know
end
that.
goal?
I'm about to say. I'm about to
Oh,
say.
okay,
So the strategy, I think, by affecting public opinion, is for them to pseudo facto instill their own personal government ideology. I got to find a way to be able to word that, but literally right now, there is a more accepted way of thinking,
correct.
and the government seems like, in the Biden's verbiage, I'm on that side where it seems like it's becoming a little bit more nefarious. That's why I use the word nefarious, that they want certain things to be taught to kids because they think it's better for the kids, when without, like, they're our children. Because they're our children, it's our responsibility to teach these things
Well,
to these
then,
kids.
Gene, you're
They're
still
not all our children. Every
so
parent wants to teach their kids differently. There are
earlier.
conservative parents and liberal parents. They all have different ways they want to teach their kids.
Earlier, when I said the example of not wanting to turn the kids gay, you said that was an extreme way of thinking. But what you technically just broke down would be the steps to influencing kids into being alphabet esque.
Well, I'm not trying to say they're trying to influence them to be alphabet-esque. Maybe they are. I don't know specifically
If they're
what
trying to inform them on it, it has to be influence.
it's one of the
Like,
things. Like, if any, well, I'll acknowledge is that's one of the things. I'm not trying to say they're trying to influence them to be alphabet, but they're trying to influence them to be somewhat, I guess you could, they would say, tolerant and accepting. I don't see how what they're doing is anywhere near tolerance and acceptance. I think it's a little bit more towards the lines of indoctrination, grooming, and propaganda. That's
boom.
my personal opinion. There's also other things they're trying to do which make them more towards, um, I'll say, something as broad as liberalism type of ideology. They're trying to get them away conservative ideology more towards liberal progressive ideology. They don't teach conservatism in school anymore. It's all
I
about
think,
liberal and
I think
what you
you're
say?
giving Joe Biden. I think you're giving Joe Biden too much credit.
I'm not trying to give just credit to Joe Biden. I'm talking about the Democrats overall. And Joe Biden's part of that, in my opinion. I'm not trying to give Joe Biden credit in that. But
I- I'm
go
I'm
ahead.
specifically keeping the conversation to, and I understand where you're going. I'm specifically keeping the conversation to the it's all our kids and tying it into Pride Month, not like the
Okay, I see. I understand.
you,
Yeah, yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
So that's why I was saying this speech specifically, his wording, yes, sounds off, but I don't think there's a bigger picture of like trying to influence via word or verbiage
I
something.
do. I'm not gonna lie, I do. And I guess that's fair.
As
Like I
far
am
as for
leaking a little bit
bigger,
with other opinions.
as far
Fair.
as bigger picture, the only reason I don't is because I think Joe Biden is stupid. I sincerely just don't think he could
Oh, I
even
agree. That's
think
why
that far
yeah,
ahead.
I
So
completely
like,
agree. That's why my credit's not with Joe Biden, it's with the Democrats as a whole. I think, well, not even Democrats, honestly. I think it's the entirety of the politicians, be it Democrat and Republican. I
if
think
you
they're
talk
all
about
they're all
that,
corrupt.
that's fine. I agree with
I
that.
think
But
they've
I was
all been to
talking about
Epstein's island. They're all little kid ticklers, man.
yeah, 100%. But I was specifically talking about
Yeah.
this speech. I just don't think. I think I would attribute the verbiage more to the Joe Biden that slips and falls all the time than to the Joe Biden who is off his Adderall and got his senses for the 30 minutes of the day when they can actually talk to him regular. Like
The
I
issue is
just
who
think,
wrote this speech for him, because the speech was obviously written for him. These speeches are written for him.
but I don't think Joe Biden can. I think 10 Americans could say the same sentence 10 different times and it now sound perverted, and Joe Biden say the same sentence and it sound perverted because the look he gives, the little smirk he has, and
The way he hugs you and the way he sniffs your hair.
sniffs, the kid story with the little kids with lots of my hairs and roll them down and watch them go and glisten in the sunlight. Like he turned uh uh kids touching him into poetry. Literally. He literally described it as poetry. So I get where you're coming from, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think that specific sentence was that big.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the sentiment of "there are children" is that saying like it takes a village to raise a kid or something like that. I think he's trying to play on that to garner votes. Really, I think the garner votes is the more creepier aspect because it's
Look
like
at his face, though.
subliminally, I just hear like us, like us, like us, please like us. You know what I mean? And that to me was the more creepier thing than
And if you don't vote for me, you're black. You're not black.
yeah, stuff like that. I do think Gene touched on an interesting topic where it's just like they don't teach conservatism in there,
It's
but
true.
it's like can they though? Like because you have hard walls in conservatism, and so these kids they're kind of already out. You know what I mean?
But you're not
No,
allowed to talk
I know
about,
what you mean.
to your point about it being semi-linked with your religious beliefs. You're not allowed to talk about religion. It's funny, you study religion in school, but you're not actually allowed to talk about like your religion in
Yeah.
school. So to a degree, I guess the anti-culture for all of this, or the fight that should be had about this would be then we should at this point let religion back into schools, because it's the equivalent, like that's the actual opposite of what's going on. I'm not saying that LGBT are inherently non-religious, but I'm saying letting this type of subjects be taught in schools at certain
Yeah.
age is the
It's an
equivalent.
ideology, and it's
It's
exactly it's equivalent.
the equivalent of then teaching a religion. So, hey
I
man,
would
all for it.
completely agree with that,
Let there
100%.
be a class. Let there be a class on Qurans taught by uh, uh, Islamic leader. Let
That's a
there be.
good point. If we're trying to be tolerant and accepting and all this and inclusive and all that stuff, you got to teach. If you want to teach the gay stuff, you got to teach the Christian stuff. You got to teach the Quran stuff. You got to teach like the heterosexual stuff. Like you got to teach it all, and that's the biggest issue with me. With me specifically, is why I take I guess the giant leap of the nefariousness is because it's clearly and for me at least, maybe you guys don't see it from what you're saying. You don't. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Or you're just trying to play devil's advocate like John
So
does.
I'm just
Which
saying,
I
in this
appreciate.
moment, I don't. I'm not saying in the bigger picture.
Fair. No, I fair. And I'm trying to use your words in this context right now, not take what you said outside the podcast in our private discussions.
Appreciate it.
Is it's in my mind it's nefarious motive. Like there's a clear nefarious motive here, and they have a goal. And I'm trying to take it outside the LGBT stuff because I think they're trying to utilize the the alphabet community
Say it fast 10
as
times.
I know, right? Jeez. as what's the term, like a scapegoat, like a Trojan horse. Like the alphabet community is a Trojan horse for them to do what they really want. And that's my conspiratorial mind, but I really think they're using the alphabet community as a Trojan horse for something. And it's
Oh
and
no, I
as
agree with you. I agree with you on that point. I think they are. I would say they realize that the alphabet. So for a long time, Black people voted Democrat. The trend now, if you look at anything going on, like
they
I
vote
told you,
Democrat. They vote
vote
Democrat.
Democrat. But if you look at what's going on now and what they're saying and how that demographic of people are feeling, a lot of them is Trump 2024 right now.
Well,
A lot of them are
exactly.
anti-Joe. A lot of them because
But not a lot
morally,
of them. Not a
morally,
lot of them.
morally, Black people are generally conservative in values, not in voting. So it would take a push for them to vote conservative. Now, all this stuff going on, yes, there are people of every race that LGBT plus or whatever, and that doesn't make you vote one way or the other. But a lot of churches, which is a real cornerstone in Black communities, are not okay with this. So I say that
Ooh,
to
I
say,
hold on. I want to dispute that, but finish your thought.
it's hard to defend Joe when he looks like that in that picture. Like, I think they do have a sentiment where it's like, it's not that we want to make people alphabet, but the more leniency or the more we show our support for that community, and we do statistically see it growing, then we'll have their support on the back end, which is the vote. So to your point, it wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if I'm a Democrat at the, I guess it would be my demographic, the people that would vote for me growing, that group growing. So they're almost investing in growing that group so they can vote for them on the back end because they're losing votes that they used to count on.
I think that's a weird strategy just because of the simple fact the alphabet community don't represent a large swath of the population. Like if you
No,
want to
but they're growing
I mean it
influence.
that's a different conversation that I I don't mind having, but I don't want to get lost in the plan tonight. The only thing I want to address real quick is I want to address real quick what Doc said prior and then what you kind of said. And Doc said that Republicans conservatism doesn't necessarily try to address the alphabet community. I think there is some truth in that. I think recently that has changed, and the problem is it doesn't get the attention that I don't know if it's the attention it deserves or the attention that it needs. Maybe a combination of both. And my example for that is I don't know if y'all have heard about him, but gays against grooming. You have in my opinion, the rational alphabet people who are like, yeah, there are limits to this. Like there's no issue with you liking men or liking women and want to be who you are and
Are
express yourself, but you don't need to be doing that in public with your degeneracy in front of kids. It makes sense. It's logical and it's rational. They're like, we're completely against this because they acknowledge that the bus right now is taking them off a cliff where they're going to maybe lose rights. I don't think they're going to go that extreme, but that's where they're coming from. That we don't want to lose the rights we fought so hard to get.
pendulum.
Well,
Exactly.
well, it's
And
also
then to
like they probably like they have shame. You know what I mean? Like they want to
They're human.
represent themselves or hold themselves up like to a certain caliber of like modesty and stuff like that.
and
And
respect, in my opinion, like they
y-
want some
yeah,
respect.
and so I mean sometimes when you see images of Pride Month, it's just like you said in the past, it's a lot more like just hedonism and stuff like that, and they don't want to be a part of that. So I totally understand that. I actually think that like a moderate conservative could go pretty far, like because it would douse any
That
of
would be the best.
yeah, because it would douse any of the flames that are like, oh, he just immediately as soon as the alphabet person turns around, he's just stab him in the back. It's like no, like you live your life, you go do your thing, but you can also cultivate conservative values and stuff like that, and at the same time still accept people and because you have to kill a bunch of stereotypes. Because essentially the stereotype for Republicans is that they hate minorities, they hate gay people, and they hate other religions besides Christianity. And you have to douse those flames to kind of be like, no, look, holding onto your money and spending it wisely you know, instead of just giving it away or even giving all of it to the state, is responsible, and it teaches you responsibility, and you don't have to be a
Rely on the
bigot to
government.
be
You can be
yeah to be a
independent.
bigot.
Yeah, self-reliant. And then real quick, I want to, like I said, I was going to just one thing John said, and then probably close out this topic if you guys have any last thoughts, which is he mentioned the churches. And these specific churches I'm going to reference, I don't think they are that prominent, but the issue is they get a lot of light shown on them because they speak and preach what is, in my opinion, what I referenced earlier, the status quo ideology when it comes to the politics, mainly speaking the Democratic side, which is the churches that are okay with gay people. They wear rainbow things right there. They talk about like Jesus was okay with gay people kind of preaching stuff to the point where recently one of those churches that was advocating stuff like that got struck by lightning and the internet went crazy trying to joke about God smiting y'all. And I mean, it's funny
Wow.
because it's funny. And that's why like.
But see, this is where we always reach this point. Yes, there's churches that are going to be more accepting. Yes, there's churches that are going to be less accepting. But the church should always be accepting because there is no sin greater than the other. So, like, lightning striking that church, sure. You know what I'm saying? But, like, is there no pedophiles in that church? Is there no thieves in that church? Is there no liars in that church? Is there
Or
no
gay people.
gay people in that church? So, like, there's a lot of reasons that lightning can hit a building, and there's a lot of reasons that if you want to be critical of the church, the whole purpose I thought was to be accepting. So like I get trying to progress from the sin if you view it as a sin, but they're also supposed to accept you and realize make you not feel ostracized due to your sin.
Fair.
So like that technically is the purpose of a church. Some churches go too far, like flying rainbow flags and all that stuff. To me, that's like them TikTok churches. I'm talking about the church on the corner that your grandma went to, that your mama went to, that everybody in there knows each other. Everybody goes out. Those are the real churches of America. These mega churches, sure, those are internet churches.
Money. It's a business, all about the money.
So they're going to get the paid revenue. They're going to get advertising. These are the churches where Joe Biden is going to go speak at Joel Osteen's church in front of 30,000. You know what I'm saying? That's not community church for me. And there's a lot of, all right, I'm just saying, smaller places now, which is where everything starts, which is also where this LGBT community started. Like small, grassroots, then it gets popular. Why? Because of influence in social media or whatever is going on. So eventually the anti is gonna happen. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe this is a conversation for another time, but I just want to kind of not push back, but I guess kind of dive deeper into what you mean by church supposed to be accepting, because I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I think there's a difference between churches being accepting and a churches being tolerant. Yes, churches are supposed to accept everyone. The whole point of coming to church is to become more Christ-like. The problem is some churches are gone from the point, I don't know if this is the right distinction to make, but gone from being accepting to tolerant. We're tolerant with you being gay, or we're tolerant with you being a thief, or we're tolerant with you being lustful. You're not supposed to be. The point is to come to church to change, to become Christ-like. You're not supposed to be a thief. You're not supposed to be an adulterer. You're not supposed to be gay. You're not supposed to be this. The point is to come to church to start making these changes to better your life. And that's the difference, because churches aren't teaching that. Specific churches that I'm referencing in here aren't teaching that.
Okay, I agree. There are some churches. There's bad churches regardless. So like,
Fair,
if we're
exactly.
using that, the ideal church, Gene, if I sin, if I kill somebody and go to church, and they forgive me in the church, and I kill again and come back to church, they're supposed to accept me every time and try. That's literally what I like.
You might be right. Like I said, there's something you can probably dive into later, because I have contentions with that. Because I'm not gonna lie, you're probably right. It does say that. I just have contention with that, because at what point, I think it was in Peter. I think it was Peter. Or was it? It doesn't matter the chapter. He talks about how like you got to weed out the corrupt vines to keep the fruit pure. And that's probably I'm probably butchering it, but he talks about like sometimes you got to shun people in church because they're going to corrupt the other people.
Yeah, but God's favorite person in the Bible was who, Gene?
What do you mean, Jesus?
No, David.
Oh, King David.
And he killed. He stole
Yes.
people's lives. He was an adulterer. He was a thief. And God showed him the most favor in the Bible.
But he
I mean,
changed. He didn't remain that
how
way.
many times? That's what I'm
Fair,
saying.
I get you. No, I get you. Like, I get you. It's just, like I said, it's because I completely agree with you. I understand what you're saying. Because it's just, like I said, I got contention with it. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying like you're wrong. It's just like I got contentions with it because it just seems like
I
we're
don't
not
agree at
making
all.
any.
I'm just saying that's what God would do.
No,
Like, I don't agree at all. Yeah, burn them niggas. I'm just saying that's what God would do. Yeah, but no, yeah, 100%.
That would mean I fucking kick David out. Fuck that shit.
because exactly, God can change anyone and make him into what he needs for his goal. That's the whole point of it.
Damn,
For his mission.
that's probably the hardest test for a priest, where it's just like you have this repeater, this addict, the kleptomaniac, and you're just like, dude, just stop. Like, fuck. Yeah.
Just stop
Working
doing
with
bad
it.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's all I'm talking about. It just seems like the churches are honestly they're probably lost too, just like everyone else, and they're trying to survive in this capitalistic culture that we created. And
We made
I
some
get,
harsh environments to be good. I go.
yeah, that's fair. You know what? I think that's a good way to stop. We've created some harsh environments to be good. I think that's fair. You still got to try though. At the very least, you still got to try.
That's the challenge, man. It's kind of weird. There's that fucking dude who got really famous for advertising. I forgot what his name is. Something. He like sold wine bottles or something like that. He's a really famous like self motivation speaker. But he said something one time where he was just like, "Do I want to be a fucking rock star?" He's like, "But I don't want to do any heinous shit to get there. I want to tell myself, and I want to actually do it, get to the top, and be a good person at the top too." And he's like, and if he's like, that's the only reason why it's worth it. He's like, it might not happen, but you still gotta try it. And I was like, yeah, it's the best way to fucking live it, man. Like,
Yeah.
just try to get up there and be the best.
Yeah, or you can go that way.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a hard turn away from the Pride Month conversation, the Our Children conversation, to some news that came out with some, I guess you could say it's sports related. It happened during the NBA Finals, which is Conor McGregor, if y'all haven't heard.
During sports.
I was trying to, I was trying, I was trying. Leave me alone. All right. So Conor McGregor accused of, quote, violently sexually assaulting woman in bathroom at NBA Finals. So there's a certain part in here that I want to get to, and I'm going to try to read as fast to get to it, or I might just skip.
He did assault somebody at the NBA Finals, though.
So.
Did you see him hit the mascot?
I did not see that.
He punched the mascot. It was part of a skit. Sent the mascot to the hospital.
Damn, really?
Through the bodysuit.
Damn.
He only hit him twice. He hit him twice.
It was a skit?
Mm-hmm.
Hold back, my guy. Hold back.
No, the punch looked crazy too. I ain't gonna lie. The punch looked crazy. I seen it. I said, "Whoa, hold on!" And then he went for another one. The guy was on the ground.
Was this post or pre-accusation?
It might have been mid. I don't know. It was during the game.
What I mean by accusation, I mean like
he was at halftime show. That's why I said it was at halftime show. Like the mascot comes over, he like pretends he wants to fight him. He hits him one time, and then he comes down. All the little cheerleaders and other mascots are like blowing fake fans and stuff at the mascot on the ground, like, "Oh, he's knocked out." Or whatever. Meanwhile, the nigga really knocked out.
And
then McGregor goes over him and hits him with another one, and he hit him just like that too, like a motherfucker. And then the nigga he needed the ambulance. Like he had to go to the hospital.
Sue, that's a lawsuit, my man. Hold back, especially if it was supposed to be a skit. Like, dang.
He might got two. He might got 2 lawsuits.
That ego is crazy. All right.
Where did he hit him though? In the ribs?
Nah, face shot.
Face. No, yeah, sounds like the face.
No, damn, that's horrible.
I wonder how. I think
McGregor's going through it.
He thought that suit, the head was probably like
thicker.
Yeah. But he connected.
But didn't they communicate? I'd assume if this is a skit where it requires a professional UFC fighter to punch you, you'd at least, hey man, just so you know, this is the gap from the thing to my face, and this is how thick it is. So keep that in mind when you're throwing this punch. I feel like that's something the mascot guy should have said.
I feel like McGregor should have known that even if the punch touched the mascot would have fell because it was part of the skit. So why would it even be necessary for you to put any force behind it?
Even 1% of force behind it.
Like, why would it, when McGregor walks up there, yeah, man, proper 12, motherfucker.
That
Come on
fucking
there,
ego, bro. I can't stand McGregor's ego. He's annoying. Anyway, let's
He has a mean walk. He has one of those.
I
I
can't
like
stand
the
it
walk.
personally.
I like the walk.
All right, let's get to this. So, UFC superstar Conor McGregor has been accused of violently sexually assaulting a woman in the bathroom at, how do you say this, John? Kaseya Center? Is that right? Kaseya in Miami? The whole
Where are
Miami
you?
Heat.
Can you
The
put
first,
them out where he's at? Oh, I guess Casella Center. I don't know.
the
It didn't
incident,
used to be called. It didn't used to be called that. It just.
yeah, they changed it. That's why I was lost. Sorry. So the incident allegedly took place at Game 4 of the 2023 NBA Finals between the Heat and Denver Nuggets, where McGregor was part of the in-arena entertainment and also made headlines for punching the Heat's mascot. Well, there you go, John. You should let us get to it. Then
Bro,
you can
I
brought
just
it up.
watched the video while you guys were talking. He did not hit any foam because the guy was turning and like the back, you can tell like his head is there, and then that's where the hook connects.
The most hilarious part of this is
Yeah.
McGregor not knowing that he actually hurt this guy and just continuing on about his day walking around.
Yeah. The second one, I definitely hit the mass of the beak, so that one
Mhm.
probably has some cushion, but it still went a little deep. But that first one, he was turning his head, dude, so it was all raw. Just
There was some power on that too. I ain't gonna lie to you.
yeah. He actually put some power behind it.
But McGregor on that goddamn human growth hormone.
Are you
Trying to
talking
live
about
forever.
steroids, John?
Hmm?
You talking about steroids, John?
Nah, bro,
Allegedly.
he's injecting 17-year-olds' blood into him. We're learning
Yeah.
that.
That's a strategy, apparently.
He's totally natty. You natty?
All right. McGregor's representatives denied the allegations to TMZ. According to demand letters from attorney Ariel Mitchell obtained by the Post, the victim was separated from her friend by Heat and NBA security, where she was forced into a bathroom inside the arena. McGregor then emerged from a stall and forcibly kissed the woman, who was kept inside the bathroom by security guards that also wouldn't allow anyone else inside. Quote, the victim was able to get McGregor to cease his assault by demanding he stop because she had to urinate. Letters addressed to the McGregor, the Heat, and the NBA read, when the victim attempted to urinate, McGregor, instead of giving her privacy to do so, pulled out his penis and shoved it down the throat of the victim. The victim pushed McGregor off of her, and McGregor then spat on the victim on his penis in a desperate attempt to get his flaccid penis hard. McGregor is then accused of grabbing the woman, pinning her against the wall, and then ripping the elastic waistband off her pants while then pulling them down. McGregor then attempted to insert his penis into the victim's rectum. Fortunately, McGregor's penis was too limp for complete penetration. The victim was able to escape by elbowing him multiple times, then left her purse behind, which the letters claim McGregor's security guards held hostage. The woman then allegedly got her purse back and reported the incident to authorities. We are aware of the allegations and are conducting a full investigation, the Heat said in a statement to the Post. Pending the outcome of the investigation, we will withhold further comment. NBA spokesperson Mike Bass said in a statement to the Post that the league is aware of the allegations and are working with the team to gather more information. Mitchell told TMZ that after the woman reported the alleged assault on Sunday, a police officer encouraged her to seek an attorney. The woman is seeking settlements with the NBA, the Heat, and McGregor in lieu of litigation, according to the letters. Quote, the organization is aware of the recent allegations regarding Conor McGregor and will continue to gather additional details regarding the incident, the UFC said in a statement. UFC will allow the legal process to play out before making any additional statements. Last one, and then let's dissect it. The news comes one day after McGregor announced he and his longtime girlfriend, Dee Devlin, are expecting their fourth child. Okay, we don't need to talk about this. Okay, so I'll go out and go on a limb and I'll say it. This sounds suspicious.
Oh my goodness.
This sounds.
Okay. Wait, first off, can I ask one thing?
Yeah.
Do not show any picture of this victim, and let's keep our opinion based off what we read. Can we do that?
Well, that's fine. That's exactly what I was gonna do.
Okay, because there are people who have seen a picture.
Because
Her?
based off what was said, that's a hell of an allegation that security guards facilitated in the raping of her. That's one
Right.
hell of an allegation.
That's the biggest thing that I'm
That's
like.
I was about to
that's
say
the
she can
kicker.
sue a lot. If that really happened, that's a lot.
And two, there's a lot of details to the fact that he couldn't get it up, and like it's just like I said, it for me based off the details we have in here, it seems made up, and she's trying to facilitate an outcome to get some kind of money. I could be wrong, and I could be an asshole right now.
There's video footage of
But
her
it's in
going to
the.
the restroom with him.
You said what?
There's video footage of her going into the restroom with him.
Does it look like she was being forced to go?
I didn't really watch it too much. I should have watched it, more in depth. I didn't know this was a topic, but there is footage. It seemed like not they were holding hands, but like she was like maybe a person. There was like McGregor, then maybe another person, and then her going into the restroom, and security was like stopping people from like, it's his security stopping. Oh, hey, McGregor, cameras. That's what it seemed like from the video. It didn't seem like she was forced into the restroom. But then again, like I said, it was maybe a 7 to 10 second video. There are people who are saying because of how she looks, they don't think this is possible.
What do you mean? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, fucked up. I was gonna ask like, how does she look? Because if she looks like she's an OnlyFans model, not to be mean, but usually girls, OnlyFans models, finals week, that is a very lucrative week for them.
If I'm being honest with you, I would say she's
Here, I got the video here. Let me put it in chat for you. Ian.
you should just go look. Yeah. Don't
I thought the whole point was we're not gonna look at her, man.
Yeah, but we can't
They blur her
incorporate
face.
it.
They blur her face. They blur her face. They blur her
Okay.
face.
You can't incorporate it. It has nothing to do with her face.
Well, I'm showing the video of what John mentioned, which was her going to the bathroom with him, and based off what I'm watching here, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So let's see what y'all think.
She was also caught chilling with him 30 minutes later.
So it seems like a come up in my opinion for her, and that's why I want to know what she looks like, not specifically like what her face looks like, but
So 2 girls went in.
where's the other girl then? If that's the
Here,
case,
it seemed like she was holding the girl's hand. I'm tripping, running back a little bit.
yeah, run it back in from the beginning.
Yeah, both of them are going in.
Okay, that's one, right? Is she not holding the
He's
girl's
holding a
hand?
hand. Yeah, he's holding a hand, and she's holding someone else. There's two. Yep, there's two people.
And security walls up. Wait, did she walk off? Yeah, did you see that girl walk off to the right?
She did. I pray that's not what happened.
I pray it's not what happened either. Like yeah, exactly. I pray that's not what happened. It just seems, and you have to take into context too. This isn't the first time apparently.
Hold on.
Greg
You
was
see,
been
there's a picture.
accused.
She kind of walks off on her own. I don't see anybody like drag her.
I don't want to find a picture of her, but there's a picture of them chilling after. Like she was sitting like adjacent.
There's another video at the bottom, but I don't think it's with her anywhere near him. I think it's just him having a fun time, like punching in the air. I'm watching it right now. Like, yeah, I don't see a girl anywhere near him.
A nightclub after. Well, half an hour, yeah. That's what I saw.
Okay,
Now
cool.
this is the
Ian.
video.
That's her.
broke the rule, Gene.
My biggest issue with this is
No, I know.
I
what
was
y'all
hoping.
think.
No, I meant some different. Some. I'm not gonna mention her. I'm not gonna. My.
You see why I said what I said?
Hold on. Apparently they couldn't see the. No, Miss Chrissy said we can't see the video. Which video was it? The video of them going into the bathroom, or the video of the girl and McGregor sitting down? While I wait for her to clarify, my issue is I read somewhere else, and again I should have linked that with this article, which was she's trying to, and actually it said it right here. She's trying to reach a settlement before going into litigation. If you, in my opinion, and y'all could correct me, wouldn't you want the full force of the law to go after the man who just forced himself on you? Why would you just want, let's get a settlement before we go through the court? No, I'm gonna drag your sorry behind through court. I'm gonna publicly shame you instead of no, we'll come to a settlement behind closed doors. That is the main reason for me why it was fishy. She said all of them, Ian, or Miss Christie said all of them. So real quick, could you post the videos so they can see them? So is that not weird? Like, because for me, that's a red flag. Like, if you were forced upon, why would you not want to drag them through the courts? Why would you want to seek a settlement and not take them through the court process? Like, I don't know. That just seems suspicious.
I think two things can be true. I think maybe he could be a little bit aggressive, but it not be assault. And I believe devil's advocate. I believe there's a possibility that I'll just put it like this: everybody doesn't view assault the same way, especially. I, I I know, Gene. Especially when there's potential financial implications, then
Hold on, real quick, John. Pause. Ian, John's camera looks like it's not showing up. You can't see John in the feed.
I can see him.
No, in our feed we see him, but I'm talking about the YouTube feed.
I see.
Okay.
so when there's potential financial implications, I think people's judgment and view of things can get a little bit skewed. So I'm not saying that's what happened with this young lady, but I am saying it's possible that he was aggressive, and it's also possible that when somebody has a certain financial status or fame or whatever, most times people tend to let them get away with a little bit more. So the amount of aggressive, I don't know. It may not have been to her liking. It may have been to her liking. She may have been like got it out of him. She may not have wanted it out of him. But I know he punched that mascot a little harder than he was supposed to. So I'm sure he was a little bit more drunk than he was supposed to be.
That's
So
true too. That's
I'm,
fair.
I'm not taking anything off the table, but I do think,
Fair.
in my honest opinion, if I were to guess, I don't want to. I'm not going to shame her or anything like that, but I would say he was drunker than he was supposed to. He was a lot more aggressive than he needed to be. But to the point of sexual assault, I don't. She could have been drunk too. You know what I'm saying? So there's no telling like how she received or what actually happened. But I think that he might have been a little bit more aggressive than he needed to be. I don't want to say a little bit, just more aggressive than he needed to be. And she either received it the wrong way or realized it could be received that way, and is trying to capitalize on the fact that the the context of the details change when you write it on paper. So like, oh, he spit on it trying to get it up, and all this other stuff is different if you actually want him to get it up. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. I think probably just a lot of liquor involved, and we'll never really know.
I think the guards are going to be the key factor because I mean you have like so many people that are accomplices to rape at that point.
That's
Yeah, like
crazy.
They're
you
they're
saw in the
gonna get
video.
interviewed. Yeah, they're gonna get interviewed. They're gonna give their side of the story. The girl doesn't look like she's forcefully separated. Like she looks like she kind of walks off. But I don't know if somebody pulled her off or something because the angle's really bad.
Well, real quick, pull up the video one more time, Ian, because it looks like McGregor was holding a different girl, and she was the third girl. And then the second girl
the second
branched
girl
off,
wasn't the
and the
one.
third girl, no, that's what that. Because when I finally saw the video of the girl that now is with the allegations, that's why I had my reaction. She was the clothing got matched. She was definitely the third girl in there, and make sure it's on the feed so everyone else can see it. Ian,
I think she's the first girl.
I thought it was the first girl, but let me pay more attention.
Yeah,
Eugene.
it's two girls.
I could be wrong because there's definitely two girls. We confirmed that, but I think she's the third girl going in, and I could be
two
wrong.
girls. One girl walks in, and the other one goes to the right. But the other
Alright,
one
so
doesn't
there's-
have like a moment of like confusion. She's not like looking around like my friend, like what's happening. She just kind of like wanders off.
Wait,
When you see her, pause. Yes,
It
okay,
has-
you're right. You're right.
it's
Never
the
mind. She's the
first
second
girl,
girl.
because-
Yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Yeah.
So,
we
like,
all
keep
know
going.
why it's the first girl. Come on.
Yep.
And then she's making it in there. She's making it in there, and then
But where'd the other
Yeah.
girl go? I don't see her branch off actually. Okay, is that
It's right
her
there,
branching
yeah.
off? Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
but like she's not like looking back. She's not like trying to get back in there. She just kind of.
I really pray this didn't happen. What's more likely though is McGregor knows what status he has and what people will do, and he needs to not be that drunk, or he needs to be able to better assess what situation he's walking into or allowing to be presented around him. Because whether this happened or not now, she was presented with the opportunity to suggest this happened.
And hey, man, we're living the age of hashtag Me Too. Believe all women.
She kind of steps off. Like, look, go back. You can see in the mirror. Like, a little bit further, right?
So this
Like,
is
there's
them
a
walking in the
mirror
bathroom.
facing us.
Yeah, I see the mirror.
She just walks off. Like, it doesn't look like anybody grabs her or anything.
That's the friend that's walking off.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
it doesn't
tough.
look. It doesn't look like anybody influences her. The guys don't even close the door gap.
Then as
until
far
she
as
walked away.
her chilling with him after, I'm not even gonna pretend to know the psychology of anybody who's ever been sexually assaulted. I'm sure there's several mental things that go on. My assumption would be that you'd want to
Get far
out
away
from
from them.
a person assaulting you, unless that person had a some way of manipulating you into not leaving, to where you were stuck that way, which would speak to a deeper relationship or a deeper know of each other. Whereas I don't get from this story that they were particularly too familiar with each other as far as like long time acquaintances. So I would say I pray that everybody does their due diligence to make sure that the facts get out. In my opinion, I don't know, man.
Yeah, highly suspicious.
I think it's
I
highly
don't know,
sus.
man.
I think so too. I mean, I'm not gonna say until it's concrete, but right now it's not looking. That right now it's not looking concrete.
Yeah, at the very least, that's the
Yeah.
best way to say it. At the very least, it's not looking concrete. And but then, like, I don't know, certain things sometimes just line up, and it's almost like easy detective work versus like going in depth. Because Conor McGregor fits all the
Stereotypical, like someone who would do something like this. He's got
Correct.
he's got a prior
Yeah.
accusation. I don't know if that accusation turned out to be true or not, but he does have a prior accusation. We obviously just got done addressing how aggressive he is with the mascot.
he assaulted Khabib's tour bus. Like,
So it's doesn't look good in his favor. Like I said before, I don't like the guy, but I have a little bit of a exposed nerve when it comes to false allegations. That shit sets me off personally. I don't know.
he also makes himself an easy target by ticking those things off. So it's just hard to call, dude. It's like I can't say he didn't do it either.
That's why I said, bro, it's finals week. People know what happens when girls put themselves in these party situations when it comes to finals week. They're I'm not gonna elaborate. Y'all know what goes on. It's just you should be smarter. You should be smarter.
Yeah, at that point, that's wild. You know, right? At that point, that's wild. That's why he need to find you a good woman.
He has a good woman supposedly. She stuck through him when he was a broke, and now he's a
He has
success.
a good. I'm not saying that she's bad, but like this nigga was clearly at the finals with bitches, and he's married.
Bro.
I think he's married. I think he's been dating that girl for like 10 years or something like that, or 20 years.
Oh, so
Nah,
he's
he's got a fourth. He's about to expect a fourth kid with this woman.
He's
If he's not married, he should be married. Like that's insulting to me. Like this poor woman. That's it. Another topic that infuriates me.
If she's the real victim to this kid, no. The girl who got assaulted, if she got assaulted, she's the real victim. 100%. 100%. No. Yeah, if I just let my opinion leak out a little bit.
All right. Any last takes?
Nah, not on my end.
No,
All
I'm
right.
good.
Yeah, if y'all, Ian linked, I think, one of the TMZ videos in the chat. I don't know if it's still there or not. Check out the links. You all want to see the videos for yourselves and get your opinion, because this is kind of washy. You know, I thought it showed up for a second. I saw it show up for a second. Maybe it got deleted. I don't know. If real quick, Ian, if you could just hit it one more time, and then the link will be in the chat if y'all want to check it out, the video for yourself, because it was kind of blurry, and I'm assuming going from that blurry video then through our streaming software, whatever, it might be extra blurry. So the link he's gonna provide it real quick. Y'all check it out.
Was it
Yeah,
Miss Chrissy that was in the comments?
Yeah.
Thank you for watching, Miss Chrissy.
Yes, and thank you for making sure we're not messing up.
Yeah, we appreciate
we wouldn't have known, and we appreciate that.
So let us know in the comments what y'all think about the topics. Let you know what your opinions about the Our Children comment. Let us know about what you think about the whole McGregor and this allegation. If you saw the videos, let us know what you think.
about Proper 12.
About Proper 12?
Yeah, I heard it's shit whiskey.
Oh, okay. Like the video if you haven't liked the video already. Share the video with the friends and everyone else to get more people in here to talk smack to us and us talk smack back, because we like the confrontation. See you next time on Fake Deep Thinking. Peace.
Yo, thanks for making it to the end. We really appreciate it and hope you all enjoyed the show.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, and the notification bell to get notified when we post our clips.
Follow us on Twitter at PodcastFDT. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok are all Fake Deep Thinking. Check us out, please.
FDT. Peace, y'all.
Peace.